Yes, people. We are eating good today, ladies and gentlemen. We are eating good today. Oh my goodness. We got Chelsea getting knocked out by Brighton yesterday. You got Liverpool losing to bottom of the championship, Plymouth Argyle. Yes, bottom of the championship. Patrick just told me this is the first time a team that has been top of the Premier League has been knocked out of the FA Cup by a team that low in the championship. Crazy. Now, maybe it's happened, maybe something similar to that has happened in the past, but this is a record and it's the biggest shock of the weekend. You know what? I used to say the magic of the cup is dead. That might have brought it back. Also, Aston Villa did their job for Spurs. You know, a lot of people thought Ange Postecoglou, when he was saying we finish every team that I manage second season, we win a trophy, he said. They still have a chance. You still have a chance to win a trophy. It just might not be the one you think you're gonna win. No FA Cup, no League Cup. It's been a rough week for Spurs. But let's get into it. We got Abdul. We got my guy Abs in the building repping Chelsea. We got Patrick in the building repping Man City. And by the way, Man City did win in what was a shaky performance. And you know what? They had, if I'm not mistaken, you had Leighton Orient fans saying "stay humble" after they scored their goal. It was a madness.
No. They were singing that.
A little kid with a sign, humble sign.
Nah. Let's not get that deep. They were saying we will never National League champs or national whatever. We will never sing that. And then we're singing to Pep that sucked in the morning. And Pep was pissed off as he said in the presses. We're singing sucked in the morning.
But you know what? I think we're gonna save Jay for last, as he's going to be joining us in a bit. Oh, Jay's actually here. We're going to save Rack for last on the panel. Jay, welcome. Different kind of setup. I appreciate the time and effort. I see that you got a different setup today, so you must not be home.
I'm sat on my sofa for a change.
Okay. Do you want to turn on the lights, Jay? Because
turn on the lights. From
brother to brother.
Your situation is not the worst. We got the shock of the week. Liverpool losing to Plymouth Argyle. And Rack is in the house. Rack, let's talk about Liverpool first. Let's start with the biggest shock of the weekend. The FA Cup, Magic is back in the cup, and Liverpool lose in shocking manner. You couldn't score a goal versus bottom of the championship, Plymouth Argyle, who've conceded over 63 goals in the league this season. And your attack without Gakpo and Salah looked absolutely toothless. Talk to me, bro. Well, what'd you think of the game today?
I mean, it was awful, right? There's no way to sugarcoat it. Plymouth completely deserved the victory. We were shocking. Reasons, I don't care the reasons, but ultimately the team that was on the pitch should have been good enough to beat Plymouth. There were still a number of first-team players involved in the game, and absolutely no excuses. We were terrible today. Arne made a mistake. He put a team out that he thought could do the job, and he picked the wrong team. So he deserves criticism. The players, any first-team player who was involved in that game deserves criticism because they were all terrible. Including Jarell Quanta. Anyone who's had a significant number of minutes. I'm not gonna crash on the young kids who've barely played, but we had 4 or 5 players who've played pretty consistently this season in the first team, and unfortunately they weren't good enough. You take your world class players out, of course that makes it more difficult, but all those players out there should have done better and should have gone through. So no excuses. Well done to Plymouth. Bad result. Arguably the worst result of our season.
Arguably.
when
There's no debate, yeah.
You've only lost like 3 games this season. I think.
True.
It's almost got to be the worst result of your season.
Rack is not one of those people who's gonna lose his mind and start saying, "Arne Slot, you make me sick." None of that stuff.
But losing to bottom of the championship is insane.
But you're not gonna see them ranting and raving. You're not gonna see them ranting and raving.
I think the different. Because we've got other competitions, in my mind, at least at the start of the season, the competitions that I prioritize more highly than the FA Cup. I'm not gonna rant on.
Bigger fish to fry.
Listen, I'm not superstitious. I'll say bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry. We got fucking sharks to fry. We got the Champions League shark to fry. We got the Premier League shark to fry. So we have got bigger fish to fry. But that doesn't mean that I'm disappointed about going out, because the team we put out was good enough. This is a failure, to be fair, and we have to hold it. Yeah. And if teams are going to crash it on us, so be it. That's the thing. But
Brax, just on Joe Gomez, because someone just made a comment I was literally about to make. I do believe if he doesn't go off injured, he probably win that game. Do you know what I mean? As in, like, I feel like that's the injury that tipped the team from. This should be good enough to win. To, you know what? This is a little bit like taking. But obviously, but obviously you got Everton midweek, and I think the rotation was for me. I think the rotation was too much. Like, it was, but a couple of players too much. It was a bit OTT away in the cup. Not even having Salah on the bench, stuff like that.
No, I know.
That's what I said. It was an experience.
No, I wasn't over the top, Jay, because. It wasn't over the top because the facts are Liverpool currently, unfortunately, are the best team in the country by a landslide. So also called, really and truly.
Why are you saying unfortunately? You want them to win the league, bro. Don't act like you don't.
No, you don't know me well enough. I can't stand Liverpool, but that's a comment for another day. Anyway, what's it called? When it comes to,
you say you want Arsenal to win the league, then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't want either of you to win it, to be honest. Listen, Forest. I'm all for Forest, innit? What's it called? So when it comes to their team, actually they should be able to rotate and put in a few of their kids and do what they need to do, because we can't just do this thing of last year when Klopp used to put in like McConnell, Conor Bradley, and all these guys in league games and rotate. People be like, "Oh shit, see, look at Liverpool's kids, they're actually doing a job." We can't say, it's the same thing now. They shouldn't have rotated, bro, because they've shown it before. They have shown it before, so they should need more Salah to beat Plymouth.
What I'm saying is the critical mass went too far. They like, obviously, like 11, whatever changes, but I'm saying that you still need Salah on the bench or something if everything goes to shit.
That's what I said. Yeah. Inexperience. I think it's an experience.
That's too far. That's almost saying it's a bit like the PS.
He didn't take the competition serious.
Yeah, thank you.
Not that it's either you look at it in different ways. Did he not take it serious? Did he overrate the players that were playing? Did he take?
He took a risk. He took a risk with the team.
Yeah,
right?
did you underestimate
that risk?
Synergy aspect though? Do you know what I mean? As in like the synergy aspects of and stuff like that. And for me, it's just you got to have. But then again, on the flip side, you're looking at like Nunes on the bench, Jota, Chiesa, like they had hitters out
Diaz.
But Gakpo and Salah have been Liverpool's best attackers. Do you know what I mean? And neither of them were there to bail them out if something went wrong. And I think that was a bit.
What John Bamford said. Look, we're looking for the Premier League and Champions League. That's true. That is absolutely true. But Slot also took a risk. I don't think Slot wanted to go out, and his words since the game indicate he didn't. It's not like he wanted to go out. He's never going to come out and say that in publicly anyway. But I still think the team that he put out should have been enough to get past Plymouth, right? If we got a big team and we played a rotated squad, like I remember a few seasons ago, we played City in the semi-final, and City played quite a heavily rotated squad. We played most of our first team players. We beat them. That's a bit of a different story. We were playing a rotated squad, but we were playing against Plymouth, and he took a risk with that team, and unfortunately, the risk didn't pay off. I'm not going to castigate. I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram, because we have got other competitions this season that have to be where we are at the moment. Have to be our main goals. The Premier League, the game we have against Everton midweek is much more important than the Plymouth game. If we beat Everton, I think we have one hand on the trophy, right?
You see, I hear you.
That's the difference.
I hear you. And some people would say, Igal, stop comparing everything to Arsenal. But I'm gonna do that. That's who I am. When we speak like this, we're called losers. When you guys speak like this, you're called experienced champions.
Yeah, thank you.
But there's a difference, Igal. You know what the difference is.
The difference is you've won the league with Klopp and you've won Champions League with Klopp.
So we've won a significant number of trophies in recent seasons. And we've won the biggest trophies in recent seasons.
Understandably so.
Yes.
But
and also the position where we are at the moment. Also, you have to bear that in mind, because I think you'll agree. If we beat Everton at midweek, we've got one hand on the Premier League trophy.
How about
no,
this?
really?
There's a bunch of games coming up.
9 points ahead with 14 games to go.
Let's look at Liverpool's fixtures. How about that, guys? Update on Liverpool's fixtures. Patrick, he's writing up a lot of these teams.
Wait. I hope you don't include City at the Etihad as a threat. Please don't.
So they have Everton away.
Easy. Actually,
Everton
no, that won't
derby,
be easy.
Bro. It's the last derby at Goodison Park.
No. Go. You're right. You're right.
That's the last derby at Goodison Park. New manager bounced.
Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so that's 50-50.
At home, easy dub for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Aston Villa away, one of the toughest grounds. Liverpool historically for the last couple of seasons have struggled away at Aston Villa. That's a banana skin. Then they go to Manchester City.
Easy game.
Are not good this season.
Easy
Liverpool
game.
Could exercise their demons versus Man City, maybe.
Yes.
Newcastle. Maybe Newcastle. This is a smokescreen game.
No.
Nothing happens from the rest of the games. The two games I'm looking at are Everton, Villa, and then maybe something from City. And then the rest of the games, it is what it is. Like from now to the end of the season.
Define something, Ekal. What is something from City? What is something?
Liverpool have a tough end to the season. They play Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. They still have 2 derbies versus Everton, 2 derbies, plus Villa away and Man City away. There is possible points that can be dropped. It's not every week where they're going to play without Mo Salah and things. And now, can I put my conspiracy hat on for a second, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm going to put my Arsenal hat back on one more time and say something, and you guys are not going to like this. I genuinely believe if Arsenal had the same level of fitness Liverpool have had this season, we would be winning the league right now. Because they've been fortunate enough to have Gravenberch play every single game, Van Dijk play every single game, McAllister play every single game, Luis Diaz be available for every single game, Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah be available for every single game. Arsenal have only had 2 players available for the entirety of the season. That's the goalkeeper and Trossard. Every other player has missed a game or 2, left, right, and center. And
You know why that's silly? Wait, one sec, bro. You know why that's silly? Because last year, the majority of the season, most of your guys, Nat Rice, Saka, Saliba, all these guys were all fit, and you still didn't.
2 seasons.
And the funny thing is, City, who they ended up winning the title, they lost Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, but you lost KDB up until February last year?
Yeah, we did. Something
like that. Okay, so they
Diaz was injured. Ruben Diaz was injured throughout the first season. They came at the end. Yeah.
So there we go. So you're missing your best player.
Why are we holding Man City's treble winning team and quad winning team or whatever 100-point team and all these other ridiculous teams that they've had for the last 4 years?
I thought we're using the same theory. So we're also using.
What I'm saying is not ridiculous. To have the level of availability Liverpool have had this season,
there's a reason. What is the rationale behind? What is the reason behind that? Right?
What's the logic?
Because injuries don't just happen. Injuries happen from either playing a lot, not resting sufficiently, or injury proneness. Right? So the players you said that have been ever present. What's Salah's injury record? Does Salah miss many games? So far in his career, has he had any serious injury? Has he had an injury, for example, as bad as Bukayo Saka, who's significantly younger? Has he had that level of injury? The answer is no. Virgil van Dijk Virgil van Dijk had an ACL injury. Prior to that and post that, has he had any serious injuries? He had an injury at
Wait.
Southampton.
Wasn't your first choice keeper missing also this season for most of the time?
Yeah, and this is the other thing. When you're missing players, but you've got adequate backup, like, for example, we've missed Alisson and Keller. No, everyone just says, oh, yeah, you haven't had a serious injury. Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world, right? But the difference is we've got Kelleher. I know, but you can't. You're just.
I named 7 starters who haven't missed a game.
Yeah, but what you're doing is you're cherry picking certain players. You're picking cherry.
Bro, I went through.
You didn't mention Alisson. Did you mention Alisson?
1 second. Did you understand what I mentioned?
Yes.
Did you understand what I
understood
meant?
you perfectly.
Did you understand where I was coming from? I mentioned players who played the entire season, not players who missed games. I excluded every player who missed games for your team and every player who missed games for my team.
What you got, right? But the point.
Just Robertson.
Go on.
So
I just want to make a couple points on this.
Once again, Rack, if you want me to go and show you the diagram, I'll show you the diagram.
Wait, you had the diagram.
This is the 7 Liverpool players who have not missed a single game. And here's their game marks, and you can see right here.
Oh my God!
Van Dijk, not 1 game missed.
You know.
1 second, let me finish. You can see here, Gravenberch, not 1 game.
What's the point you're trying to make from this?
He says Arsenal could have won the league if they had set the same luck.
But can I? Let me just
get to my point. Let me get to my point.
The point, like, sorry, I've been listening. I've been listening to this point.
Let me get to the point. You don't understand.
Because the point I'm telling you that the holes in your logic are as follows: Liverpool play a different level of intensity out of possession. Yeah, I think I saw a stat that they're the lowest. Like they press the least
distance covered, and the sprints
covered. Liverpool covered the least distance.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah?
Can I bring it back 1 second? One second.
You're just saying Liverpool have less injuries.
Injuries than you. But it's 7 out of your 11 starters.
Point you got.
7 out of your 11 starters.
Bro, you're just saying Liverpool have less injuries than you.
No,
that's the
24 games played
what
this
else
season.
Are you offering in this point, Igor? Apart from Liverpool
24 games this season, having 7 out of your 11 starters fit.
Okay, so they've had less injuries than you. But what is your overall?
Is that not a massive boost to your title hopes?
But whose fault is that? It's not Liverpool's fault, though.
The difference is you said it's luck. You said it's luck, and it's not luck.
No, but that's what exactly.
There is an element of luck to injuries, bro.
Let me pick this up because I'm trying to say.
I've had a player slip in his bathroom.
Guys.
You said it was luck. You didn't say it was an element of luck.
Do you know what the problem is?
Right, no, hold on. No one's jumping the queue on this point. Sorry. Like, I'm saying to you, Igal, right? Because I've been listening to your point. One, yeah, you can't, like, you want to put it down just to look, okay? Well, Liverpool have less injuries than they had last season, okay? So obviously, I've seen articles of Liverpool, specifically what they're doing from a coaching, sort of player refreshment, all of that point of stuff, yeah? Liverpool's intensity is different to your intensity. You run more than them, yeah? So all of these things can come together in terms of if you're looking for a reason for why you're not going to win the league, yeah, it can be anything from you didn't buy an extra attacker, you didn't rotate properly earlier in the season, you bought players like Calafiori when maybe you should have used the money differently. But if you're going to put it down to Liverpool had less injuries than you, that doesn't make sense. Because the whole point is that that's their squad, yeah? You go into the season with a squad that you think is capable of winning the league. And that takes into account anything that might happen. Barring, a Rodri ACL or so, barring something that's absolutely takes your best player out all season, yeah? Other than that, your squad is meant to take the highs and lows of what's going to go on. So if you're trying to get at you're not top of the league this season because Liverpool have had less injuries than you, do you not think that's being massively disingenuous to the work that Liverpool and Slot has done?
Both can coexist at the same time. the stat can be true, but at the same time, it can be something that's not trying to discredit them, but just point out the facts in why they've slightly.
But the difference is you said it. But the difference is you said it was luck. You just said it was luck when it's actually
no.
Not
there
luck.
is
There's an element of luck. There's an element of luck. Yes, but it's not. It's not.
There is always an element of luck in injuries. You slip, you fall, or you break.
I agree, but that's not what you said. That's not what you said. You said you were lucky. You said we were lucky.
Yeah, you have been.
Not just
you have
we
been
were
more
lucky.
fortunate than Arsenal with your injuries. That is a fact.
But we've also prepared better to mitigate the possibility of injuries in Arsenal.
Exactly.
Can you admit that? Can you admit that?
I don't know how many of those guys. I don't know how many of those guys have been substituted early. If I'm not mistaken, Van Dijk has played almost every minute for Liverpool this season.
But
how much of that is Arne Slot? How much of that is Arne Slot's style of play, or how much of that is just the man's physical fitness?
Specifically when it comes to Van Dijk, I'd encourage people to watch Van Dijk when we play. The reason why he doesn't really get substituted, half the time he's walking. He actually doesn't put that many high intensity runs in. It's very rare that you see him sprint. Most of the time, majority of the time, we're playing in the other team's half, and most of the time he's just trotting about. The reason why he gets substituted less than some of the other players, especially, is because he doesn't have to put as much physical exertion in. When you play a less intense, now don't get me wrong, I've come from Jurgen Klopp style. Look at us last season; we had so many injuries. But
Salah was
changing style. This changing style has benefited us. Also, Salah is not as injury prone. He hasn't had a serious injury like that. So you can't just say injuries and throw it out there when there's also reasons behind them without giving them. Otherwise,
I'm just saying we're 6 points behind you. We're 6 points behind you. Mo Salah is also
especially talking about FA Cup.
We're 6. No, I'm talking about in the league. In the grand scheme of the season, we're 6 points behind you in the league, right?
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of the entirety of the season, if you really look at it, I think the difference between the two of us has been a couple poor refereeing decisions and injuries. Simple.
Yeah, but can I ask? Let me ask a question. No, I have a question to ask though. Whose fault is it though? Like whose fault is it? If Liverpool players don't get injured, whose fault is it? It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
I don't get it.
It's not their fault.
I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just answer real quick, because
fair point. It's not their fault.
Right? Loads of great teams have lost big players for a period of time.
Yeah, this season, yeah.
And they've still, as I said, obviously, I'm not saying that you guys are on Man City's level, but apparently, what's it called? The narrative from Arsenal fans is that with a few different refereeing decisions here and there, Arteta would be going for a three-pit at this point. The facts are, bro, it's literally good teams and good coaches, they find a way. Liverpool lost Mo Salah and Trent for pretty much all of Jan and February of last year, and they still kept going. You know, ironically, when they're big players,
that's what we're doing now.
No.
We're still going. We're not winning, but we're going. We're not going to win it, but we're going.
No. Igal,
if you want to talk about going, we are going. We're just not winning.
Patrick. Okay, so
no, but what's the difference between what we're doing and what Liverpool did? Did they win the league with those injuries? No, they didn't.
I don't get that.
No one was making excuses. No one's making excuses. That's what I'm saying.
They weren't making excuses. What the hell are we talking about? The season when Van Dijk's knee went out, they said we can't win without Van Dijk. The season when Mo Salah and thing went to AFCON.
No. I'm going to stop you right there. Van Dijk went out. Van Dijk went out. Then Joe Gomez was on England duty. His knee went out, and then Matip went out. So we had three central defenders. We sold Lovren in the summer. We risked it, right? So we sold three central.
Okay, what about our attack?
Wait. Three central defenders were out. Then what do? We put Henderson back into the back line. What happened? Henderson got injured. Then what happened? We put Fabinho back into the back line. Fabinho got injured. And then what happened? Then we were playing, what's his name? Two kids. I can't remember their bloody names now.
Then you got Kabak. Then you got some guy called Kabak.
Season.
Kabak got injured, right?
That's happened to us now.
No. I'm sorry.
Jesus gets injured. Then Saka gets injured. Now Martinelli.
What is the point? Is this an excuse? There is no one in the league.
Players in the same position getting injured.
No, because our three central defenders had season-ending injuries. Our fourth central defender, who we bought on loan, had a season-ending injury. We had to play two kids in our central defence, and then we had to wait for Henderson and Fabinho to come back. And then we won 8 out of the last 10 games of the season and finished third in the Premier League, ahead of you.
He had to throw that in.
First of all, back then we weren't even serious. Number one. Number two.
What's going on? I don't get what's going on. What's the use?
Number two, when it comes to the injuries we've had this season, I'm not going to compare it to your defensive injuries in that season.
You literally just did. You just did that. That's why.
But we have had some situations where we've had numerous players out. We've only had one player with a season-ending injury. I hear that, but we've had 2 hamstring injuries, and we've also had a young academy kid who we threw in there, and he's been playing well, but he's also got injured himself. Also, I'm just saying the difference between Arsenal and Liverpool this season is not, even though we're not playing as good as you, I don't think it's that far. I think it's small margins. Anyways, enough about that. The reason why I was linking it back to today's game is because when you look at Liverpool's attack without Mo Salah and Gakpo, not saying much. I'm not going to criticize their defense because I haven't seen their defense too much without Van Dijk this season. I'll have to see more games where Van Dijk doesn't really feature. But their attack, I can tell you right now for a fact, no Mo Salah, no Gakpo. They have no other players in there that are clinical or can finish games for them.
That's a fair thing.
The thing is, football is not just an individual game, right? You need a team. You need a whole structure. If Van Dijk was playing and Szoboszlai was playing, I think we can afford to miss one of those players, for example. I think it's too simplistic to say, okay, Mo Salah we're missing Mo Salah, and that's the difference.
I'm talking about your attack, though. Rack, that's true. Your attack is too.
But your attack is constructed throughout your whole team. You create chances based on winning possession in defence and midfield, right? If you don't, it's just. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's a lot more complicated than that. And I think
who do you trust? What front three would you trust in a Premier League game if Gakpo and Salah were not available?
If Gakpo and Salah weren't available, I'd play Diaz, Jota, Nunes, I guess.
Jota is a sniper, isn't he? He's a good player, though. It's just that he's been injured, but he's a good player.
Injuries.
Jota's thing, I can't have that. Jota juice pause might have run out because that guy's always injured. So
yeah, I don't even know why you're answering this. At the end of the day, it is what it is. If Liverpool are leading the lead, I don't know why you're bringing this injury thing. It's happened to everybody before.
Yeah, all right. You know what? Enough about Liverpool. The video has turned into a heated debate. Now,
can I just one more point about incredible FA Cup upsets. The biggest upset in FA Cup history. We all know which one this is, right?
No, we don't.
Well, the Brentford one.
No, in FA Cup history, right? I think it was 1990, early 90s. I can't remember. Arsenal went away to Wrexham the previous season.
I knew you were going to mention Arsenal. That's why
the previous season, Arsenal were champions. The previous season to that, Wrexham finished bottom of the fourth division or the third division or whatever it was called. Basically, the bottom professional division. The only reason they didn't get relegated because the team coming up from the conference, they didn't have their stadium didn't meet the requirements. So basically, the season before Arsenal lost to the bottom team in the whole football league.
This man went to dig some facts. I think everybody has had an embarrassing moment. I remember Wigan also embarrassed us, and we were supposed to be.
I know. But some people like to leave these little things out. Some people like to leave these little things out, so I like to put them back in there.
Let's move on to the next game. Patrick, we'll talk about City quickly before we get on to Spurs and Chelsea.
Is there much to talk about that City game?
There's one thing. Your new signing. Is he injured?
I don't know, man. Man City seem to be hiding everything. They're not even telling us if he's injured or if anything is up. I think they're doing that thing where they hide him for Madrid. You know, he just shows up in the lineup. Hopefully,
Nico González, right?
Yeah. But I went and somebody sent me something. Somebody was like, "Do you know that this guy has been injured before for so long?" And he was injured for 385 days. I don't know what was wrong with him. Yep. One of the injuries was 385 days.
Massive injury. He came back and then they sold him to you.
Yeah.
It's a madness. And
but the thing is, they were looking at. They've been watching. They wanted this kid when he was 14, when he was 16. They wanted to bring him to City for free. So they've always been looking at him. So I think they looked at that and said, you know what?
I think his dad was employed by City or something.
Yeah. His dad also played with Pep in one of the teams. Yeah.
I don't know what his injury history is officially. Let me check. But when it comes to it, if he's not available or if he is available, he might not be Premier League ready or English football ready. It's very physical compared to La Liga and Portugal.
Yeah, but the Portuguese players do well. The Portuguese players do well when they come here. Like look at Ruben Diaz, look at Bruno. They came in here. Look at Jota. And some of these Portuguese players, when they come to England, they don't really have. But you might be right. You might be. But it's just that maybe you might be right because the fact that even Rodri and him are similar. They're sort of smart players. They don't use the physicality. Rodri is after.
Your boy hasn't had an injury in 2 years, bro. I don't know what people are talking about.
Wait, when was that 385 one? When was that?
Bro, he hasn't had 385 days. He had 60 days injured. Back.
Wait. Don't tell me somebody scammed me. Because somebody sent me oh my God, they scammed me.
They lied to you. I'm looking at it.
Why did I even believe that? 305 days.
He had a broken toe where he missed 5 games, and he had a metatarsal fracture, which is going to be 60 days. Of course, that's fucking a fracture. Outside of that,
oh my God, I have to send you this. Somebody edited it. I don't know even how we were stupid enough to believe that.
This is him, right?
How did I get that in my mind? Oh my God, that's him. But there's 2 of them, by the way. There's one from Argentina.
Career, he's not missed more than 25 games, bro.
Oh my God, they scammed us. We got scammed.
22 games max. That's what he's missed in his
career. Somebody say 395 days. That's scam.
Yeah, so don't listen to all the misinformation on social media. But
I know, so it was edited, yeah.
So it's good news then. It's not the end of the world.
But isn't it painful though for the fact that I hope and pray that he fell down and Pep was like, we have Madrid, get out. But it will be painful if it becomes that it's something serious. I'll be like, maybe this season we're being punished for all our sins. I'm just saying.
All right. We're gonna move on quickly. Jay, you back? I want to hear what he has to say about this. Do you guys care about the fact that Manchester United robbed Leicester? The final goal was offside. And how is this man on the line? He sees 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 Man United players offside for the kickoff, and he doesn't blow it offside.
Miguel,
what's going on?
Listen, brother, Miguel, I'm going to tell you a little secret, right?
Now, don't get me wrong. Leicester's first goal was also offside. So to be fair, VAR is not in the game. They conceded an offside goal. They scored an offside goal. I guess it's fair, but really and truly, the referee standards are ridiculous. So I'm not bitching about Man United winning, but
do you want me to tell you what it is,
know what the referees are up to.
I'll be honest, it's not even a refereeing thing. You see, when decisions go in favor of Northwest clubs or controversial decisions, what you need to understand is most of the referees are all from in and around the Northwest region, whether it's Manchester, whatever.
Bro, whenever you say that, you have to take my conspiracy theory hat first.
Okay, cool. I'll take the conspiracy theory hat off. There's always been northern bias within the Premier League. That means that, and you can see that because Man United are not. No. It's true. Because I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you where. So Man United and Man City are the FA's favorite 2 teams. And
here we go.
And Liverpool are the media darlings. So there you go. There's a Northwest bias within English football.
But how is this guy not seeing this?
Abs, the thing is, right? So if the referees like Manchester United and Man City, it doesn't make sense they would also like Liverpool because we hate each other, right? I don't hate Patrick.
Right. Listen.
That's Man City. We're kind of okay.
But, I said there's a northern bias.
We've seen that, right?
I know, but the thing is, when you break the northern bias down into its component parts, it doesn't make sense. That's the difference, right? If you support Man United, you would also automatically dislike Liverpool. So you'd either go one or the other. You can't say northern bias in general because northern bias doesn't make any sense. When you break it down into component parts, then you see that it doesn't make sense. These guys, they're incompetent. If you want to say they're incompetent, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm with you.
Yeah, we're with you.
They don't intentionally make these wrong decisions.
Let's bring it back quickly. Do you guys think the referee
anyway?
Are blind? How does the referee not see
Manchester clubs at least, and then the media?
Okay, let's put the conspiracy abs to the side. Conspiracy abs. That's what I'm going to call you. As for the actual referee, how does he not see this, guys? Let me show you the image once again. It's in his line of sight. It's the first player.
He can't see it. You can't see it's far.
Bro, look. Harry Maguire is highlighted. This is Harry Maguire. This is the referee. How can't he see it?
Hey, God, you know the answer. You know the answer to this. You have the answer, but you just want us to verify it for you. You know why? You know.
Okay, so tell me.
Can I
He
ask
made
you
a
something?
mistake.
Can
He made a
can I
mistake. He
can
made a
I ask
mistake.
you
That's
can I
it.
ask you
Why
something,
are you
Iga?
attacking Man United?
No, Iga, let me ask you another good one. Today, even for City or even for Liverpool or even for Chelsea or other clubs, when Chelsea, Arsenal, City, all these guys sometimes in the FA Cup or these cup games, they are being beaten by a lower league team. Haven't you been surprised before when the refs put 9 minutes, 10 minutes? You know, it's also about money. Like they want the big boy to be there. So this is how life is. I don't know why football fans only start saying this.
That's
Like you
not
said
true.
yourself.
Chelsea was knocked out. Arsenal was knocked out. Liverpool was knocked out. Spurs were knocked
Yeah,
out.
but they gave you a lot of time to come back. They will give you 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 7 minutes to come back. Why you find other teams they just put a few minutes to be like, it's done. Like today, let's give an example. Look at Liverpool. Where did that 9 minutes come from? It's part of life, but I don't get it. I know exactly. Look. I can tell you exactly that offside. If it's allowed, United will be more money in the league. Will be more money in the FA Cup to be played. Is that the answer you want to hear? That's why they ignored it.
That's why you think they ignored it for money.
I'm just saying straightforward. Is that the answer you want? Yeah. United
No,
being
they
in the
just made a mistake, man. Everyone always wants conspiracy theories. They just made a mistake. They're human beings.
Can I ask why there's no VAR in this FA Cup? Why?
Because there's a lot of
I
teams
don't know,
that
it's a
don't
bit-
have VAR.
Don't have
Oh,
the
okay.
equipment. Yeah.
Exactly, but it's okay. Well, I think you get VAR in the semi-final and
All
finals,
right.
though.
Enough about that. Time to talk about Chelsea, and we're gonna finish off with Spurs. Is Jay going to ever come back? Jay, are you there? Jay, are you there?
There he is.
I was gonna start with Spurs before I started with Chelsea.
Yeah, go. You might as well do Spurs then. Go on.
All right.
Tough week.
Because tough week for Spurs. Spurs got knocked out by Liverpool in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday.
We slightly bettered your aggregate result. You know what I mean? Like you were more consistent 2-0, 2-0. We obviously won the first leg, so higher highs, lower lows.
Nah, that's a good way to
I hear
analyze.
that. I do hear that. To be fair.
Jay, talk to me. Surely Ange is sacked now.
And sacked. Listen.
Today's the last day I heard.
The thing about Ange is, it's like you want, as a fan and stuff like that. I think it's a very difficult one because he's always gonna say, "Look at the squad of players, this and that." I think my issue is that I think Spurs are poor out of possession. I thought we were poor out of possession for a while. And I think you can have a thing where you're found out, or just it's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? And you can say, okay, Spurs have got 11 players out. And I think Liverpool today gave a good example of saying, hey, Liverpool had 10, 11 players rotated and they lost to Plymouth. Do you know what I mean? So you're basically asking Spurs every week to go out without, 10, 11 players who are starting 11 players.
Makeshift defense also.
Exactly. So the thing is that, like, you've got, I think from this team, I'd say Maddison, Johnson, Solanke, Van der Ven, Romero, Udogie, Vicario.
Jesus
That's not
Christ.
even including players like Odegaard, Richarlison, stuff like that. Werner, even, and you can make an argument.
No, you've been the third worst team this season due to injuries.
See, I don't think that's right. Like, I actually don't think that's right. I can't think of any. You might have a team that might have lost a player to an ACL or something, and that's skewering the data. But I can't think of any teams that have had more injuries like this at the same time. Do you know what I mean? For the first team, and like these have been quite long injuries too. I think we haven't seen Romero since that Chelsea game. And we haven't seen Van der Ven since that Chelsea game. That's Vicario since that Chelsea game. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot. That's like.
But if Rack keeps the same energy as what he said earlier, he's gonna blame the manager on why those players keep getting injured, right?
No, but the thing is if if the manager, oh, well, to be fair, to me, I think the manager, Spurs press a lot, and they also play very quickly with the ball. Do you see what I mean? So, to me, whether people like it or not, I think the manager's style of play is exacerbating the injuries, because Spurs, I don't see how it's not, because we press really, like, you see Liverpool, the distance covered is low. They're not doing both. So Liverpool play fast, but they're not covering as much distance. Do you see what I mean? So you're asking Spurs players to play and cover the most distance and do it the fastest. That's gonna burn players out. It's gonna, and I think like a lot of Liverpool's players have played a lot of games. People to underestimate people like Gravenberg, Van Dijk, and stuff like that. They play
McAllister.
They play like every game, and I see Kulusevski, who's played every game, and he looks like he's out on his feet.
You know, you're a very positive Spurs fan. Let me get somebody who's negative. They said Dave here. He comes out and says every match, start the match, look off the pace, concede early, look way off the pace, hold on for a bit, halftime, start second half a bit up for it, concede on the break, game finish. Son does an interview, we're sorry interview, and does the rude sly thing, it's injuries, interview, and then repeat.
He missed one thing. He missed one thing.
Yeah.
Beat City. Add that in there, please. Beat City is also just that. And I wouldn't be surprised. Beat City. It's just what they do. Beat City.
No, but Jay.
As a Spurs fan, looking at this, do you think this is kind of accurate or harsh?
No, I think the thing is that, like, I'm not, the way I'm analyzing it, I think the issues that Spurs have, to me, the injuries are exposing Ange's tactical flaws. But the funny thing to me is that when people talk about this and all that sort of stuff, I'm almost saying, like, no, that means that there's severe flaws in the system. And the player quality is masking the flaws in the system. So when you lose the player quality, the system is exposed to a point where you realize the system isn't that good. Do you see what I mean? So when people talk about it, I'm like, no, that's just showing the issues. So you could make the argument, oh, any team needs good players. Well, I'm almost like, and I said this before, when you look at like a Russell Martin or a Vincent Kompany at Burnley versus what Spurs are doing, what is the true difference? Really?
Nothing.
True. But Jay, remember I told you Russell Martin was a bum and you tried to argue with me, innit?
No, I think Russell Martin, I've always thought Russell Martin is a bum. I think you might have had the other way around. You might have told me that. No, I said, what do you say? I'll find the argument actually. It was the style over substance thing, and I said to you that substance is more important than style of play. And you said Russell Martin. I'll find this actual conversation, because let me see whether or not I'm being a hypocrite now.
And you know what's worse for your defenders? It's the distance he makes them cover because of that high line. You know what I mean? Because they have to just run back all the time, and they never sit back. They never, like, you know how other teams where they allow their defenders to sit back, rest. Your defenders are always on the high line. They always have to go after runners. But I don't know, man. I think you need a new manager.
High line thing, for life, mate. Spurs play the fourth highest line. Arsenal and a bunch of other teams play higher lines than them. It's not high line.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this man's high line, man. Spurs is all the way at the back.
I don't know if you've seen the post-match interview. First question they asked him about the game, getting knocked out of the 2 cup competitions. and you know what he said?
Yeah, I said that basically it was an argument about Russell Martin being a decent coach, and I said he was a decent coach. Yeah, but my issue wasn't with him not being a decent coach, as in, like, it was more his sticking to the philosophy of what is. I'd even argue that when I looked at Russell Martin's issues, I'd be more like that was player quality. Do you know what I mean? Because he was trying to do stuff that those players had no right being able to do. Do you see what I mean? Like in the Premier League, rather than
so what is Ange's fault then? Like that? What if he had quality players? Do you think he would do it?
I think
I think Ange's a
Yes
stubborn
and no.
manager. He's not that good.
I think yes and no, because I think you can see like earlier in the season when we lost to Newcastle 2-1, or last season when Newcastle beat us 4-0 when we had a lot of our first team. I think it's almost like, when you watch Flick at Barcelona, and sometimes you'll just be watching them and they'll be like 3-0 down, or they'll be doing something stupid. I think it might look a bit like that. Do you know what I mean? I think it might look a little bit like, but then it's the quality differential. If we're never going to give him this level of quality players, the issue I've got with Ange is that he's not elevating the quality of these players. These players are better than what we're seeing right now. But within Ange's system, they're not great. Do you see what I mean? So if you've got a system and you're saying, hey, we need to maximize these players to get the most out of the system, or alternatively, you've got managers who elevate players. So when you go Fulham and go look at Marco Silva, yeah? When you go and look at Robinson and you look at Iwobi, these are players that have been coached, yeah? You look at the player quality that they're giving off. Iwobi was not doing what he's doing for Fulham now 2 years ago.
Oh, he wasn't.
Do you know what I mean? Like Robinson was not doing what he's doing now for Fulham. These men have been coached, yeah? So he's like Sander Berg, just bring him in. He's coaching these players. Now, does coaching players and trying to get them to perform to the best have a higher ceiling of saying this system? And then my thing is, if you've got a manager like Ange and you're saying, hey, give me players, trust my system, and we're gonna be successful. I think the data and evidence suggests that would be quite risky. Like at this point, I don't think he's shown enough that if he doesn't win the Europa League, I don't think he has a job next season.
Next season, I'm thinking this season, bro.
Yeah, he should be sacked now. That man should be sacked now.
Well, yeah, you say that, yeah. But I'm gonna say, if Tuchel didn't take the England job, like I think we would have got, like, Spurs would have. Yes, Spurs might have
sacked. Love to take our sloppy seconds. Pause.
Bro, listen. The thing is that like there's these different kind of managers. Now we're moving back towards pragmatic, versatile managers.
There's a pandemic out there.
The era now, when I'm watching Slot,
there's a pandemic.
When I'm watching Slot and I'm watching Arteta, you need to have managers that can coach attacking patterns, but you also need managers who aren't scared to defend, who know the importance of out of possession structure. That's one thing I underestimated when I was looking at Ange. I never truly understood, because he managed Celtic. You never see the out of possession apart from the Champions League, where he wasn't amazing. And you look at Celtic now, and they're a little bit better in Europe now.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So
do you guys have anything else to cook Spurs about, or any takes?
Wait, what position are they on the table right now?
They're 14th, no?
Oh, 14th. Oh, man.
We've risen a couple of places since you last saw us, right?
They were 15th, now they're 14th. Rock, you got anything to say? Because we got to talk about Chelsea. And Chelsea's a good one.
No. I cede my my speaking spot.
All right. So Chelsea got knocked out by Brighton. Rock, you see, Rock's nice. Rock's nice to you, Jay. He's not giving you a hard time.
Yeah. They know the thing is that, like, they've got a whip and there's a dead hound on the side of the pavement, and they just realize, maybe you don't have to be a dead dog, you don't have to flog a dead dog. It's okay.
Yeah, really fun, man.
Yeah, okay. But it got how you're saying Chelsea got beat by Brighton, but that's not shocking news, isn't it?
No.
Brighton is a good
this
team.
is not the shocking part. Chelsea getting beat by Brighton sparked a massive debate online. And
what
Chelsea,
was it?
Did you see what they did last night? They went for everyone. First things first. Maresca, Chelsea fans are calling him a fraud. Some Chelsea fans don't even believe in him anymore off the back of the result. And what he said made it even worse. He went out and said, now we can focus on the Conference League and getting top 4. And Chelsea fans were in uproar saying this guy.
Is that what they say?
They're saying this man has no ambition. This man doesn't know how it is to be at Chelsea. He's making top 4 a trophy. He's talking like Arteta. They're getting mad about that. Then it's not done there. Cole Palmer gets a pass. He's been good. Malagusto.
Wait. Did Cole Palmer play? Did he play?
Cole Palmer played. He gets a pass.
Wow.
He's their best player. He gets a pass, right? They're not going to go for him. But everybody else, Malagusto, he went from being the best right back to the best backup in the league to now he can't even make a forward pass. They're saying, why is he inverting? What is he doing? This guy's shit. Get rid of him. I'm seeing people saying, sell Malagusto. Next.
Wow. Sell the City.
Next, the defense. They're saying Robert Sanchez has nudes on the manager. They're saying Tosin, Chalobah are basically just standing there, right? Shrewsbury Hall, they call him a wedding hall. They don't know what he's useful for. Sancho, oh my God! Did you guys see what they did about Sancho?
Hang on.
Sancho is now called Troops. They call Sancho Troops. They've taken a photo of Sancho and just put Troops' face on it and said, "Yo, this is what he does for 90 minutes," because he had zero goals, 0 assists, 0 shots on goals, 0 dribbles, and was hooked after 74 minutes. Jesus. What did he contribute in that time?
Listen, I'm gonna say,
and I'm not done. The final thing. They told us they have the best squad depth. They told us they're solidified top 4 team. Some people even said they're going to challenge for the league. On top of that,
it was the best DM.
They told me they had the best attack. They told me they had the best attack in the league. That's what I was hearing to start the season after they won 6-0 and everything. And Neto is getting abused online. The guy went from being a £50 million amazing signing to some Chelsea fans calling him a £50 million flop. We're in February.
He is. Listen.
He is.
All right, let me just let me take a breather and say Bismillah, because I'm not going to. Ramadan's coming up, so I don't want to say anything too rude or or get too personal. I'm going to just tell you a little secret, right? I intentionally skipped the game yesterday. Obviously, I watched it back in the morning, but I intentionally skipped the game yesterday because some of my guys who I've known from uni times, they all called me out and said, listen, we want to do a get together. They don't watch football, innit? And I intentionally skipped it because I knew if I watched the game, there'd be head loss in it. Let's start with the players, innit? Pedro Neto, he's not just a £50 million flop. He is head and shoulders one of the worst wingers I've ever seen play for Chelsea in a while. He is absolute garbage. The guy looks like a B-Tech version of Ben Stiller in Zoolander. That's what he looks like with his horrible. Go look at that. If you go get Zoolander up and get his trunk, they'll look exactly the same. Jadon
garbage, Sancho. Bro. That's harsh words.
He's atrocious. You know what it is, Igal? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never disliked a group of players more than this lot. There's a lot of them.
Bro, you had a group of players that got you 12. You like those guys better?
No, but listen, same level. I don't like either one. The reason why I don't like these ones is because I know these guys are rubbish, and I know they're not going to take it to the promised land. But the problem is Chelsea fans facilitate their nonsense and glaze them and prop them and say they're this and say they're that and that. Allow me. In a way, I'll be honest with you. I'm actually kind of happy what's happening is starting to happen because, there's, I hear people saying people will always eventually expose themselves and expose their level. I'm so happy this started to happen because I feel like the only way for our club to be able to move forward is when we fully accept the level we're at and the level of shit that's involved. And then only then
can we start Bowley, Maresca, or the players.
Oh, it's the mix. Now, a lot of people have been gunning for Maresca, and I hear it. I know. I'm not here to defend Maresca, by the way, because I'm not defending anyone. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Chelsea are no longer priority.
What about Todd Bowley? He spent 1.1 billion, bro.
Miguel, it's so funny? The Todd Bowley thing is lazy because he's not even the guy who is the majority owner. The guy who spends the money is Bali. He's the one who spent all the bread. But it's just been them in general.
So he's just the face. They just put him in
this is another thing. So, Miguel, this is what people need to understand, right? The majority owner at Chelsea Football Club is not Todd Bowley, it's Bedadik Bali. And clearly, they're the guys who legally have the biggest say within the club. They're the ones who implemented this whole youth project and spent $1.5 billion. Todd was just the face of it. He was the guy who wanted to get involved the most in that first summer. That's why everyone thinks he's the main owner, but it's not actually him. So there's another thing. People need to actually read up on this shit and be informed so that they know who they're criticizing. And
no, but everywhere you look, it's Todd Bowley this, Todd Bowley that. He's clearly the CEO.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. Listen very carefully to what I've said, bro. Todd was the face of the takeover when he first came in. However, legally, he doesn't have a majority share within the club. The majority share is by Clear Lake. Is for Clear Lake and Bedadig Bali. They're the guys who, in the grand scheme of things, they call the shots. Obviously, yes, they have to collude with Todd because Todd owns a big percentage, but they're the guys who make the final decisions. They're the ones who do this and do that and say, "Oh, I want to bring in this guy, I want to sell that guy." They make the final call. So it's just what's it called. So they're the ones who deserve the most criticism in it because they've put in this and put in that. But also, they're not going to go anywhere because legally they're obliged to own this club till 2032. So what? 7 more years till freedom in it. In the meantime,
do you think they would sell though?
In 7 years, maybe. Who knows? Because the only way they would sell is if the club depreciates as an asset. And obviously, these guys, they're businessmen. And the main thing they're in for is money. They don't. Success is secondary to them. As long as they're making money, they don't give a shit. So if they see that the club isn't generating money, then they'll probably find their way out of it because no businessman with logic, unless you're extremely stubborn and have a lot of money to burn, is going to keep hold of a depreciating asset. Even in the real world, in football, it doesn't matter. So
wait, let me understand this though. Let's get back to the football. So did you lose the game because of the owners?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not.
I'm just saying in general. I'm wondering why this has gone to this. I'm wondering why.
But Patrick, the thing is, I'm bored of what's it called. I'm bored of people just doing criticism because the same guys who are now piling onto, like, have you seen the way that Jackson has been getting fried by online? I'm not even a Jackson fan like that. And you go knows I've never been a Jackson guy like
Jackson's been getting killed online.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. But you know what's so funny? They took out Jackson, and the same problems persisted. So I'm not saying he's a solution.
Is Jackson not playing anymore? Who plays as a striker? Kunku?
In Kunku, Jackson, he was injured. He couldn't play anyway. But Patrick, do you know what I'm saying? It's not so much to defend Jackson because I don't rate Jackson like that. It's more to defend the point that he's not the sole problem. In the same way, some people be like, "Oh, Sanchez is the sole problem," this and that. And look, I'm not saying I rate Sanchez because
what's your take on Sancho? Do you think you need to send him back?
Sancho,
Scam Show, they're calling him. They're calling him Scam Show.
Listen, Sancho.
I'm surprised Rack is not even responding to any of my jokes today.
Do you know what's funny? I was wrong about Neto. Neto isn't overrated. He's just crap. Sancho is the overrated one because Sancho gets all this protection and all this fucking glaze and all this and that. Whenever he has a good game, it's like, we rode Man United blindly. But when he has a poor game, they're like, "Oh, it's because the man's not overlapping. It's because he didn't finish his chance. It's because he didn't do this. Because do that." Shut up! Shut up! Listen, respectfully, I'm bored of this now. There's literally only 2 players who, in my opinion, for various reasons, are reliable if we want to move forward. The rest can all get moved on. I'm not including youth players here.
Wait. Let me get this. So you're saying the fault with the squad is not the manager using the tools he has to perform. It's the fact that the squad is poor.
The squad is rubbish.
Okay, so which two players are you taking forward? Obviously, it's Cole Palmer and who?
What can I say though? They're the only 2 guys who, in my opinion, can take us forward. And by the way, there's other guys who I would get rid of, but it's not just down to ability. Some of it's down to ability, some down to injury, and some of it's injury proneness, and some of it is down to the fact that I just don't think they have the mental capacity to hack it for Chelsea, at least not as starters. If we go from back to front, obviously Sanchez is unplayable. He should. Listen, I'll be honest with you.
But your fans turned down Kelleher. You guys could have had Kelleher, right?
Listen, I personally, I don't believe you should ever sign a club second choice keeper. But Kelleher's better than Sanchez. But Sanchez is genuinely, he's League 2 level at best. In fact, there's guys I know. We've signed loads and they're all shit. No, we've signed loads and they're all shit. But what's it called? Sanchez is genuinely, listen, there's guys from back where I live, from back home, who are better than him. and comfortably better than him. Better,
You know what's mad? You know what's mad? Even Kepa looks
Somebody
good
told me
than
he's scared
Sanchez.
of,
Like even
he's
Kepa
scared of the
looks
ball.
better than Sanchez.
It's the reason
Someone
why.
told me he's scared of the pace of the ball.
Listen,
I'm like,
Igal, do you know why Sanchez is still here? Because his father or boyfriend or whatever he identifies as, which identifies as Ben Roberts, is the head of goalkeeping at Chelsea Football Club. Now they've been together from Brighton days, and he loves him. He seems to think this guy is that prime Neuer or some shit, and that's why Sanchez is still here. It's nothing to do with ability. It's squad politics. Then we get to the back line. Forget the fullbacks for a second. Let's talk about the centre backs.
I
Generational.
want to hear about Malagusto. Are you
Malagusto?
your fans are crucifying him? What do you think about that? You disagree with that?
I think Malo. I think Malo, there's a good player there. I just feel like he's been, on a bad run of form this season. And
Yeah, but he's good. He's good. He could be top class. That guy could be top class.
He's a good talent. Obviously, he's just had a bit.
Pass, bro.
Yeah,
I think he's a good fallback. I think he's actually, if he was in a team that has good form, I think he's good even as an individual. He doesn't even need a team to be good. It's just he's got bad form. Yeah. But I think Gusto is cold. Let's be honest, Gusto is cold.
Do you know what I think people? Again, do you know what I think people took it too far? Was they tried to compare him to Reece, and there's levels to that. Like Reece is
they compared him to Trent, bro.
Huh?
I know you've seen Iraq. They compared him to Trent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's levels.
Malagusto.
It's not hard to compare someone.
I'll let people draw their own opinions.
No, but this is what I'm saying. There's levels to it. Now, Gusto, obviously, he's decent. He's not levels, but what's it called? He's decent-ish. But
yeah, he's not a bad player. Gusto's okay. I think Gusto's not the problem, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying, Rack. I feel like they're cussing him because they put him to such a high level that they seem to think that he's on James or Trent's level. He's really not. There's levels to this.
But I see potential in Gusto. It's just I think when things are bad, people start pointing at things. Gusto is cold. I think Gusto is that good. It's just the fact that things are not well. Because I remember the same Chelsea fans going after Cucurella. Remember? You guys used to say Cucurella stinks, and then he said a balling, and you're like, he's good.
Yeah, but Patrick, I'm not saying Gusto stinks. That's
not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the general Chelsea people. They were going after Cucurella. Now they were grazing and saying one of the best. Look at Ben White. Look at Ben White now. Well, not Ben White. What's that again? Ben Chilwell. They threw him out of the club now.
Patrick, Chelsea fans as a whole online, they
shit though.
But Ben Chilwell's relevant to the convo. I'm just talking.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, your defender. Start with the centre backs, though. I think so.
The centre backs, okay. Every single one of them can get moved on. Every single one, and I will not lose any sleep over it.
What about Levi Colwell? The next John Terry.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for mentioning. Listen, I think it was CB who dropped the video of it. He basically said that Levi Colwell is doing that. Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa.
I laughed when I saw that. Colwell, that's Mufasa.
Why do they call him Mufasa? I still don't get it.
No, because he looks like the actor, innit? But anyway, what's it called? When it comes to Levi Colwell is another one. He's a ridiculously overrated player. He's one of the most overrated that I've seen for a while. A lot of people got onto, without making it about him, a lot of Chelsea fans who, they love to get onto Badiashile, which is worrying because he's not good either. But
they said Colwell was generational, isn't it? Remember when Brighton wanted him or somebody wanted him? They said he's generational.
Liverpool wanted him.
This what's funny. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Now I understand. Obviously, our players develop with age or whatever. But I'm so sorry when you told me this guy is this guy's generational. This guy's the heir to Van Dijk Stone. This guy this and that or whatever. When I'm hearing this, age is not really irrelevant to me, and I'm a firm believer in. If you're good enough, you're old enough. I don't buy this bullshit of, you need time or you need experience. If you're good, you're good. Miles Lewis-Skelly is 18 years old and he's hooping for Arsenal right now. Is anyone making age excuses? No, because no one gives a shit. Good football, the cream will always rise to the top, and he's not the cream. He's like, I don't know, he's like the residue that you find at the bottom of juices, isn't it? He's that little residue that always that's what he is. Yeah, that's what he is.
This guy is you're cooking your whole team, man. Is it Disasi gone on loan? Disasi's gone on loan, isn't it? What's his name? Disasi?
There's probably Chelsea fans right now who are saying it's not all that bad, and they're saying you need to calm down.
No, but Igal, that's not what Igal. Listen, if we get Champions League football this year, hypothetically, fine. That's
You've
cool.
achieved what you wanted to do.
Yes, but that's not my point, because this is the issue. This is what I hate about football fans. They seem, and Arsenal fans did it as well. They seem to think Champions League football is the holy grail. No, it's not. Champions League football should be a means to an end. Because if you're apparently a big club, they ain't shouldn't be just to get Champions League football. They should be to, okay, we get Champions League football so we can start going after the upper echelon of players to push on and challenge for major trophies. But it seems like Chelsea fans, they don't give a shit. They're just here for vibes. They literally, because they make 1,000,001 excuses for a lot of these shit, man. And I'm calling them out for what they are. The only reason why I said Palmer and Caicedo was because I genuinely believe these guys, if you get proper footballers around them, potentially could win me a league title or win me a Champions League.
What about Enzo Fernandez?
Enzo's a luxury player. But guys, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. I need to go do some stuff. But I'm just gonna say this: do you guys have anything else to say on Chelsea before we move on? Because I feel like he touched everything.
No.
I just want to say that this is the strategy that they've employed is a very high risk strategy, because I see a lot from a lot of different fan bases about young players, and someone will be on Twitter and they'll post a cob about a young player, and then they'll complain. I see a lot amongst Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, we should go and get these guys. We should have got the Caicedo before he went to Brighton. We should have got the so and so before he went to Brighton, or before he went to well." And the difficulty is there are so many players out there. The vast majority of them will fail. The vast majority of them aren't good enough, and so ultimately, you need the more minutes you have and the more experience you have before you take that decision, the more likely it is to succeed. The downside is they'll cost more. So it's very easy to say, let's just take a risk. It's only 2 million, it's only 5 million, it's only 10 million. But there are 15 players out there that are worth 5 million. So what, you're going to blow 75 million in your budget on 15 young players, and none of them are going to make it. Maybe one of them will, maybe none of them will. You just don't know. It's a hard, buying such young players is always difficult, and then blooding them at the same time is even more difficult. When that's happened in the past, usually there's been a combination of young players and players with some degree of experience. It's very, very rare that you have a squad full of young players who hit the ground running and do exceptionally well.
I think I'm gonna have to clip that up for everyone, because that was a nice piece of knowledge right there. Thank you, bro. Let's do this.
It's not my first.
No, this is what you do, man. This is what you do. This is why I get you on. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up with this. The Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Eagles. You guys probably don't know nothing about the NFL, but if you had to pick one, which one looks better to you? The Mahomes team that have won 2 Super Bowls in a row, or the Eagles, who have one of the best constructed teams in NFL history?
The Eagles, then.
The Chiefs also have a way better coach. Also,
how is it the best constructed? They haven't won one yet. Have they?
Basically, they won it. They won it 4 years ago with a completely different team. Now they've come back with a better offensive line, better running back, better
underdogs,
better defense, better everything. But their coach, could have been fired last year because people were saying he's a shit coach. So they're poor coach, but everything else about them is top notch, and their quarterback is questionable. So the 2 most important areas, which is the coach and the quarterback, is questionable. But the Chiefs, they have a legendary quarterback, legendary coach, legendary defensive coach, legendary tight end, but they don't have as many other key players everywhere else.
Who's the favorites?
The favorites are the Chiefs.
Okay.
Let's go for the underdogs then.
No. The gambling people have made the Eagles the favorites because they know if the Chiefs were the favorites, everyone would just bet on the Chiefs.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll go for the Eagles. No skin in the game, but Eagles. Go Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Chiefs win. The Chiefs win. They're gonna have a 3-peat. They're gonna have 3 in a row. Never happened in the NFL.
That's quite cool.
Honestly, I am an enemy of anybody who has great success. I want them to fail.
That's not shock from an Arsenal fan. That's not shock from an Arsenal fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need to know about Igal. Unless it's him that's having the great success. He hates them all.
I hate the Chiefs. I hate the Lakers. I hate the Patriots. I hate
Man City.
I hate Barcelona. You know what? I don't mind Real Madrid.
Wait. How can you not mind Madrid? Why they farm the UCL? They farm the UCL.
Because ethics wise, I like what they've done.
Ethics.
Okay, 1 minute. Wait until next season when they buy Saliba.
Man said ethics wise, while
Madrid.
unnamed field at 31 is
listen,
getting
you know
about.
what?
But that's
You
a
know, to be
conversation
fair,
for another.
You know what? I think that's enough for today, guys. Bye, guys.
That's mad. Ethics.